Hi, it's Maureen. Welcome back to another Plan With Me video as I set up for March. I'll be using the Notes of Nature stamp set, some garden green ink, wild wheat ink, and crumb cake ink, along with some coordinating markers, all from Stampin' Up. I'll also be using lots of other fun pens and markers that I'll link in the description below. To get started, I am going to show you a flip through of my February setup. I want to apologize in advance because I am noticing that my bullet journal was not centered in this filming. So I think I move it up later, so just bear with me until I get there. So for this first setup, I got this idea from a different YouTuber named Riley Autumn. She has a layout like this that she uses in some of her bullet journals, and it has 3 sections, and each, you could call this page a recap or like an overview. So there will be 3 sections here, and at the top I am writing, in March I'm, and then in each of these boxes I am going to write how I am feeling. So feeling will be in the first box. The second box I will write the word enjoying, and then for the third box I'm going to write learning. So I can go back and think about, or during the month as it progresses, I can write different things in there for how I'm feeling, what I am enjoying, and then also what I'm learning. So I thought this would be something fun to try out. I'll see how it goes. If I like it, then I will bring it back for April. So we'll see. On the right side, I am setting up my Hello March page. This is usually my first page that I do when I'm creating my bullet journal. I'm using the stamp set Notes of Nature, which is a new stamp set to me. I am going for a collage type of look, so you'll see that I am just sort of stamping a lot of things randomly on the page. This stamp set includes a grid design, which I stamped at the top and then also again at the bottom. It also has these leaves that I stamped above my label that I just created there. So there's a leaf at the top of the label, and then there's a leaf at the bottom, and then I have some flowers, and it's a lot of random things. It's supposed to be like a field journal, so you'll see as I go along, it may, as it comes together, it will have more of a field journal look. But for right now, after stamping the leaves, I decided to color them in. So I'm using a Granny Green marker, actually. So Stampin' Write Granny Green marker to color in those leaves. I'm not sure about this look, so you'll see as I continue on with my layout that I'm not going to color any more in. I'm just going to stamp them and leave them. So I'm adding a drop shadow to my layout on the left side. I am now putting in some splatters. So again, just kind of giving it more of a rugged feel or weathered feel. So I have my splatters. I added an extra flower, and I'm going to do the same on the left side. And I'm using just about every image that's in that stamp set will be used on this layout. So now I'm going to turn and get ready for my calendar. For my calendar, I'm going to continue on with that 5x5 spacing. I like that amount of space. I think it gives me just enough room to add in the events that will be happening throughout the month of March. So I am comfortable with that size, and that is what I am going to do for this month. Once I have my calendar boxes all created, I'm going to use that grid design and stamp in some random places around my calendar. Then I'm going to add some flowers. I like this flower. I changed the ink. I don't know if you can tell that. I changed the ink between the grid and the flowers. So for the grid, I'm using crumb cake, and then for the flowers, I am using the wild wheat just to give it a little bit of contrast. And then I am stamping the leaves in garden green. And on this page, I'm not going to color them in. I am just going to go for it. I'm going to just stamp where it feels right and make it more of like a collage here. So that is what I'm doing. This stamp set was designed to be like a field journal, so that's what I am going for. It's going to have like a field journal type of look to it. At least that's the look I'm hoping to have at the end. So I'm just writing March here at the top, and I'm going to be adding just a few more details to this page. I am adding the days of the week at the top of my calendar using my garden green Stampin' Write marker. I can't believe that March is almost here. It seems like it was just January, and we are, for me, 3 days away from March. It will be here in a moment. How's your year going? Is it going as quickly as mine? Oh boy, I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing because that means you're enjoying what you're doing. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this wording here, just a little note, but I don't want the other part of the stamp. So at the bottom, there's another section there. So I put tape on there to cover that bottom line, inked it up, and now I'm pulling off the tape, putting that in the trash. And then when I stamp, I will only have the top line of that sentiment, because that's really something for inside of a card, but I wanted to add just a little note on my my page here. So I am shading in every other line. You know, I like to do that to give my page some interest and also to take away all the whiteness of or the vanilla-ish of the page. I added in some splatter, and here at the bottom I am adding in a drop shadow, and we are just about done with this calendar page. Super quick and easy to pull off. I think it took me just a little over an hour to film all of my March layouts. The editing, of course, is another story, but the filming was just a little bit over an hour, and that's because I just did this collage effect and just stamped randomly everywhere, and I do like how it turned out, and it was so much faster. So now I am on my gratitude page, my one line a day. You know what that's all about. Each day I write down something that I am thankful for, and I add that to the line. Something I'm thankful for or something that I want to remember. And that is what I do here. So I'm just writing gratitude, and then I'm going to get my garden green marker and write one line a day under that. I already numbered the page from 1 to 31 for each of the days. I'm adding the grid design stamp randomly around, and now I'm adding that flower or little floral design, and then I'm going to add the little flower next to it. So I keep putting the flower or stamping the flower right next to that other print. I feel like those two go well together. So even though it's random, I am putting certain elements next to other elements, so there is some consistency throughout my page. So here are my leaves now, stamping them at the top. I'm going to stamp them also at the bottom, and it just sort of pulls it all together. And then I decided to use one of the other images that I hadn't used yet. So there's this wonderful stamp, and it says Field Notes. Here it is. I'm stamping it in the left-hand corner, and at the top you'll see there are some numbers, 060722. Those numbers represent the date that the designer was working on that particular stamp. So it's kind of a cool, interesting bit of information. So I am coloring every other line here, or shading, highlighting in every other line for my gratitude one line a day page. You know, I will write something in there. On the right side is my tasks page. I've been doing this for the last 3 months, I think, and it's working out really well. So for the tasks page, on the left side, I am writing home. On the right, I'm writing work. And I will be listing my tasks there of things that I need to get done throughout the month. And that's an easier way for me to have everything for that month in one place. So now we're moving on to my weekly. And if you know me, you know that I like to put one entire week on one page. And then on the opposite page, I put the other week. So instead of having a 2-page spread for 1 week, I have a 2-page spread that consists of 2 weeks, and it's so that I can contain my year within one bullet journal. Some people use a bullet journal for half the year, and then they get another one for the other half. But as a teacher, I feel that it's best for me to have one book throughout the whole year, so that I can reference that book the whole year and not have to carry around 2. So I am going to start randomly stamping those images again. I have my grid design there that I'm stamping, and then after that I'm going to stamp the flower that I love to stamp, And after I stamp that flower, I'm going to stamp the little flower. And again, I am trying to just make this look like a journal or a collage. I'm putting a lot of things on the page and lots of random places, and I'm actually liking how it turns out. So it's something interesting, something different. I'm just gonna stamp away. So like I said earlier, this was probably one of my easiest layouts to pull together. You know, you don't have to always have some fancy idea of how to create your bullet journal. You can stamp things in random places, and you know, as long as you're using the same stamps repetitively, it will all pull together and come together and look like it's supposed to be there. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm adding in those leaves again. I love how the garden green color pops. So I have a lot of neutrals, and then I have that green, and it makes it all pop. So I'm adding a drop shadow. Coming to the end of this, I am going to add in the days of the week and the dates for the week. On the right, you can see I just wrote notes. On the left, I am writing to do. I am going to also shade in some lines like I do for my gratitude journal. And this page is just about done, and March will be complete, and I'm so excited to have that part done. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I know I've mentioned before how when you're doing these voiceovers, you sort of run out of things to say. So thanks for bearing with me as I am trying to tell you all the things that I want to tell you about my March setup. But here we go. We are just about done. So I think what I want to say to you is thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this video with a friend, someone who's crafty, anyone who you think might enjoy looking at this. Share it with them. I'd appreciate it. Also, hit the thumbs up and let me know you like it. And then you can also subscribe. You can click the bell to get notified when I post a new video. And as I stated before, all the items that I am using will be linked in the description. And I hope to see you when I am ready to plan for April. So here's my flip through. I hope you were able to find some inspiration in my March setup. And until next time, be well, and I will see you then. Bye.